Da 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 la la. Da 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 da. Hello there, my friend. How are you? Are you all right? You found me in the middle of... No, I'm kidding. I wasn't in the middle of anything. I was waiting. I was just frozen in place, waiting for you to arrive. Just as I always am, and just as I always will be. Nah, I'm kidding. I was doing something, but it doesn't really matter what. How are you? Are you all right? Now that we're here, I think we can invite someone else to come. A ghost, a spirit, flying in on the drafts in the castle, curious to explore something. They've been arriving more and more lately. It's been quite lovely to have the company. Anyway, a short little séance to say, is there anyone with us? Someone with a question? Ah, yes. Here it is. What kind of magical tools reside in the castle, and what are their jobs? Could there be a magical portrait, and what is its power? Thank you, Spirit. I hope that I won't disappoint you, but I'm not really sure I can answer that. The castle creates itself. And this is a place of rest, a place of peace, a place of allowing and surrendering to whatever the castle will do. Well, I mean, we can control it a little here and there, but I think the fun is in letting the castle happen around you. But have no fear. The castle will answer your question too. In time. Give it a moment. As for a portrait, I've never seen one here. Not yet, anyway. But that doesn't mean that there aren't any. Ah, right there. That door. Right behind you. That wasn't there before, was it? Will you open it? And shall we see what's within? Are you there? Good. I can't see much. Could you light your candle, please? I'll do the same. Ah, there. Perhaps I was wrong about the idea of tools. I see some here. Paintbrushes, pencils, measuring devices, trimmings from canvas, splashes of ink here and there. This is an artist's studio. I suppose these are the kind of tools that would have the most power in this place. Or at least they are the kinds of tools I think should have the most power. Just like my microphone and my laptop and my keyboard. All tools. Tools to create this place that I like so much that I've written songs about it. With those tools, in fact. A light, soft and gently growing, sets itself on 2 chairs and a canvas on an easel between them. When did I pick up this paint palette, already decked with several perfectly shaped dollops of paint on it? And these paintbrushes, I don't remember doing that. Now I'm sitting at the chair poised closer to the easel, and you are in the other one. And it looks like I'm going to paint your portrait. I'm not really a painter, but I trust the castle, and if you're here, then I assume that you do too. You don't have to if you don't want to. Of course, I understand. But I'm willing to see what happens. Are you? Fantastic. Just relax. Breathe deeply, yet softly. And don't try to control the breath. Just be aware of it in whatever way feels best right now. You should be aware from the start that this will not be an exercise in realism, because it cannot possibly be, and I am not interested in making it so. Good? Good. If you want to close your eyes, you can. Whatever you're doing, try to relax. First, just a basic outline. Around the outline of you, the border where you meet everything. First, a light outline, barely there. In fact, it's at first almost invisible against the beige, slightly yellowed with time canvas. Until I keep blending it out and out and out in fast, frantic sweeps. To you it might just look like a paintbrush flying around and around and around. Or maybe you can see me. Maybe you can see just a bit of me. Who knows? But either way, I'm blending the outline of your shape outwards, faster and faster until it becomes a glowing white aura, meeting the space where you end and where everything begins, blurring that space, blending it, making it glow, almost pulsing from the friction of the brush against the canvas. I wonder if you can feel it. Of course you can't. That would be ridiculous, right? And next, we must do the most important thing, I think. Next. Bright red. I will go in first with bright red, just here. A bit of yellow, some orange, good, but also black, gray, sketching and drawing and blending furiously, faster and faster and faster. It's shaping up quite interestingly indeed. I don't want to give anything away, but I hope you'll be as astounded as I am at how lovely this is going to turn out. Now what next? What's the matter? Oh, I see. There's someone behind me, isn't there? A figure. A figure of a person. Can you make out the details? No? What, it seems like a silhouette. Just an empty space. A sort of dark emptiness, but in the form of a person. A red, beating heart glowing in their chest, you say? How strange. I'm sure that as the light comes and goes as it seems to please here, you'll be able to see more details, I'm sure. Singularities. Things that make them whatever they are. Just like you have, too. I'm sure we'll get to that point, so don't be afraid by it being here. It's really no big thing. Forgive me if I'm not distracted by this, it's just that this sort of thing isn't that unusual to me. I hope they feel welcome. It seems that they're watching me paint. That is fine. Feel free, just do not try to distract me, if you don't mind. You may watch, just don't take away from my focus. There's so much detail here to attend to, and I'm not a practiced artist, you see. Not in this way, but I'm doing my best. Deep breaths. Let's get back to it. Next, those singularities, those peculiarities, those unique little things that make you, you. What are those? The shape of the nose, the curve of the chin, the forehead, the exact color of your eyes, the color of skin, eyelashes, hair, eyebrows. Ah, that thing on your face you feel is ugly and unsightly, I've caught it here, don't you worry. That line in the neck or scar on the arm, it's all here. I see it all. What part of your face is the least symmetrical? What is strange about you? What do you qualify about yourself with prettiness and ugliness? Doesn't matter. It's all here. Right here. On this canvas. With every sweep of my brush, I catch it all and move swift as wildfire to do so. I don't judge it like you, but I see it and put it here unflinchingly, or at least as accurately as I am able to. No, I don't think the crowd that is gathered behind me is judging it either. More figures, humanoid-ish, dark and silhouetted against dim candlelight. You can't quite tell how many there are, but there are several watching as I paint you. They ooh and ah as more of you comes into focus on the canvas. I'm sorry, friends, whoever you are, but I can't be distracted. I'm painting a portrait. I'm hoping that it serves a purpose, has a power to it. I've heard of portraits with power before, but I'm hoping that this will be the good kind of power. Not a curse, not a haunting, but something empowering. Maybe. I can hope. But all that is to say, I've no time to be scared by ghosts. You may continue to watch as long as you're respectful and not too loud or chaotic. Not while I'm painting, anyway. Please. Thank you. Are you all right, my friend? The portrait is almost complete. I hope they're not frightening you either. They're around you, whispering, watching, oohing and awing at the subject as well as the reproduction. The whole process they find interesting. I think. If they've been locked up in this castle for a while without friends, then I'm certain this is entertaining. Or maybe they're waiting to have their portrait taken too. They'll have to wait. It's your turn right now. We're almost there. Keep holding still. Keep breathing. Keep calm. I still have to put in some details. Do you have glasses? No? What about tattoos? Makeup? A little here, a bit there. What about piercings? Jewelry? What is that thing you can't go without each day? Can you show me? What is it about that thing that ties it so close to you? I suppose I ought to put them in the portrait, right? What do you think? What would you like? A little of this here, a few sweeps of this very fine brush, some large-scale blending with this very big brush. I need to get the expression just right. I hear applause. It's still dim enough here that I can't quite make out the audience, except that they seem to still be made of shadow, perhaps glowing a little all around each of their body in a soft halo of white light, all of them with their hearts glowing red and beating, beating, beating. The painting is done. The portrait is done. I made it with these tools. I don't often make things here. I enjoy the fruits of the castle's making. But this time, I've made something. Or maybe the castle has made something through me. I'm not sure. But here it is. Are you ready to see it? In uncanny likeness, isn't it? Mark the darkness within the humanoid frame, the lack of features like eyes, nose, mouth, chin, etc. The detail is exquisitely and intricately woven into each brush stroke of shining black paint, circles and circles drawing the observer into it, deeper and deeper into the mysterious shadow person within your portrait. It is an unknowable thing but for the beating, glowing red, orange, yellow heart in the center of the portrait. How exquisite those colors, how warm the feeling, the passion, the compassion that inspired it. An entire stadium, like in some grand outdoors concert venue, lights up with roars of applause and cheers as the painting is unveiled. There are thousands now looking at this portrait of you and seeing in it a thing that they understand, that they can feel, that they relate to, that they love. A beating heart, held gently within shadow. that appears to evoke the same feelings that they seem to feel exactly to a T. It's uncanny. I showed you some magical tools within this castle. They weren't so magical, really, dear spirit. They were just an artist's tools, and I did the best I could with them. They are magical in that the castle provided them to me to make this portrait of you. And your second question, is there a portrait? And what is its power? Well, there is a portrait now. Here it is. It's yours. I don't know what its power is. What do you think? Hello everyone, this is Kristen Zaza, your host, writer, narrator, composer, podcaster, etc. behind On a Dark, Cold Night, and I'd like to thank you so very much for joining me for episode 222. Happy February. As I make this episode, it is currently a full moon in Leo. I've been thinking about Leo energy, that passionate, bright, fiery sense of self, and how we can both channel it, and through it hopefully find some togetherness, some unifying power that can also free us from the little elements of self that keep us restrained, that keep us from being as vast and powerful and together as we really are and can be at our best. I hope I maybe was able to touch a little of that in this strange story. I'd like to thank listener and patron of the show, Jamie Marcus, who submitted our question this week about magical tools and a magical portrait within the castle. I hope you enjoyed this one, and thank you so much, Jamie. Speaking of patrons, if you'd like to support the show, Patreon is a wonderful way to do so. Everyone who pledges $1 or more US a month in support of On a Dark, Cold Night on Patreon receives access to my complete soundtrack, while patrons of $5 or more US a month get that, access to my new weekly Quick Moment meditations on Thursdays, and a monthly full moon tarot reading. I just released a tarot reading for the full moon this week, the day before this episode is released, in fact. If you want to learn more, visit patreon.com/darkcoldnight for more info. You can also donate one time only with no perks at ko-fi.com/darkcoldnight. You can also buy a t-shirt or hoodie at bonfire.com/on-a-dark-cold-night. Coming back to these quick moment meditations I mentioned, these are actually also available now through a subscription to the brand new Sonar Plus Apple Podcasts channel. For $3.99 a month, you can access my weekly 5 to 10 minute long bonus meditation episodes, as well as bonus and ad-free content from lots of other Sonar Network shows as well. So if you want to support Canadian content and check out some exclusive Sonar stuff, go to sonarnetwork.com or search for the Sonar Network on Apple Podcasts for some more info. I would also like to thank 2 listeners from the US who left very kind 5-star reviews on Apple for On a Dark, Cold Night. Many thanks to A Hungry Bee and to Otiru Botimek. And also to longtime listener of the show, Dustin Stellacord, who left us a very kind recommendation on Facebook. I'm very grateful for you all taking the time to share your thoughts and feelings about the show. If you're enjoying my work out there, leaving a review on iTunes, Facebook, a rating on Spotify, or wherever else you like to do so is a great way to help out the show. You can also follow me on social media. I'm on Twitter at A Dark Cold Night, Instagram at Dark Cold Night Podcast, on Facebook and YouTube under page names On a Dark Cold Night, and on TikTok at Kristen Zaza. These places, as well as on Patreon or Ko-fi, of course, are great ways to reach out if you have a question you'd like to hear me address in an upcoming story. You certainly don't have to be a patron or a donor, but if you followed me and shouted out the show on social media, hey, that'd be pretty cool. Thank you again for listening. I hope you liked having your portrait painted. Lots of love. This podcast has been brought to you by the Sonar Network. Sonar.